August 31st, 1997, Balmoral Castle, 11:47 p.m. Camilla Parker Bowles sat in stunned silence as she watched Prince Charles collapse into uncontrollable sobs at the news of Princess Diana's death. For 30 years, Camilla had believed she was the love of Charles's life, the woman he had chosen over duty and marriage. But as Charles cried out, "I've lost her. I've lost the only woman I ever truly loved," Camilla realized that everything she thought she knew about their relationship had been a lie. The man she had destroyed her marriage for, the man she had waited decades to be with, the man who had promised her she was his soulmate, had been in love with his wife all along. What happened next was Camilla's complete psychological breakdown, a jealous rage so intense it would destroy her relationship with Charles and reveal the pathetic truth about her 30-year obsession with a man who had never really wanted her. But Camilla's most devastating discovery wasn't Charles's love for Diana. It was what he said about their own relationship when he thought she couldn't hear. The moment of truth. August 31st, 1997, 6:42 p.m. The phone call that changed everything. Camilla had been at Highgrove House, preparing a romantic dinner for Charles's return from Balmoral, when the phone rang. She answered expecting to hear Charles's voice, but instead heard Sir Robert Fellows, the Queen's private secretary. "Mrs. Parker Bowles, I need you to sit down. There's been a terrible accident in Paris. Princess Diana is dead." Camilla's first reaction wasn't grief or shock. It was relief. After 20 years of living in Diana's shadow, competing with a woman who had captured the world's heart, Camilla finally thought she was free to have Charles completely to herself. "How is Prince Charles taking the news?" she asked, already planning how she would comfort him. "He's devastated. More than we expected. The Queen has requested that you come to Balmoral immediately." Camilla drove through the night to Scotland, confident that she would finally be able to support Charles through his grief and emerge as the woman by his side during his darkest hour. But when she arrived at Balmoral at 11:30 p.m., what she found would shatter every assumption she had made about Charles's feelings. Don't miss this heartbreaking revelation. What Camilla witnessed when she arrived, the devastating discovery. When Camilla quietly entered the Queen's private sitting room at Balmoral, she expected to find Charles sad but composed, ready to accept her comfort and move forward with their life together. Instead, she found Charles in a state of complete emotional collapse that she had never witnessed in 30 years of knowing him. Charles was curled up in an armchair, sobbing with an intensity that seemed to come from his very soul. His face was red and swollen from hours of crying, his hair disheveled, his formal clothes wrinkled from clutching at himself in grief. "Charles," Camilla said softly, approaching him carefully. "I'm here. I'm so sorry about Diana." Charles looked up at her with eyes so filled with pain that Camilla stepped back involuntarily. "Camilla," Charles said through his tears, "I've lost her. I've lost the only woman I ever truly loved." The words hit Camilla like a physical blow. In 30 years of their relationship, Charles had never spoken about her with such raw emotion. "Charles, you're in shock. You don't mean—" "I do mean it." Charles's voice cracked. She was everything. She was beautiful and kind and pure, and I destroyed her. I destroyed the most perfect woman who ever lived because I was too selfish to love her properly. Camilla felt her world beginning to collapse as she realized Charles was talking about Diana, the way she had always dreamed he would talk about her. But Charles's most devastating revelation was still to come. The confession of a lifetime, 12:15 a.m., Charles's truth about love. As Camilla stood frozen in shock, Charles continued his emotional confession about Diana, seemingly unaware of the damage he was inflicting on the woman who had devoted her life to him. "Camilla, you have to understand. When I married Diana, she was 19 years old. 19! She was this innocent, hopeful girl who believed in fairy tales and true love, and she loved me. God help me, she really loved me." Charles was speaking as if he had never considered Diana's love for him before this moment. "She would look at me with such trust, such adoration, like I was her hero, like I could make all her dreams come true. And what did I do? I betrayed that trust every single day of our marriage." Camilla tried to interrupt. "Charles, you had needs that Diana couldn't fulfill." "No," Charles shouted through his tears. "That's what I told myself, but it was a lie. Diana could have fulfilled every need I ever had if I had just given her the chance, if I had just loved her back." Charles's confession became more agonizing. "She was so beautiful, Camilla. Not just physically, but her spirit, her compassion, her ability to love completely. She loved our children with a purity I've never seen. She loved the people she worked with. She even loved me, despite everything I did to her. Camilla realized that Charles was describing Diana as the perfect woman, everything Camilla had always tried to be but never could, and now she's gone, and I'll never be able to tell her that I finally understand what I lost. I'll never be able to apologize for wasting the love of the most extraordinary woman who ever lived. You won't believe what Charles said about Camilla next. The cruel comparison. 12:30 a.m. Charles's brutal honesty. In his grief-stricken state, Charles began making comparisons between Diana and Camilla that destroyed any illusion about their relationship. Diana was like sunshine, Camilla. She lit up every room she entered. People loved her instantly because she had this genuine warmth, this natural grace. She didn't have to try to be lovable, she just was. Each word felt like a knife to Camilla's heart as she realized Charles had never described her in such terms. And she was so young when I married her. She could have become anything, been anything. She could have had any man in the world, but she chose me, and I was too stupid and selfish to appreciate the miracle of that choice. Charles's voice became even more emotional. She gave me 2 perfect sons. She gave the monarchy more popularity and respect than it had seen in generations. She gave the British people someone to love and admire. And what did I give her in return? Neglect, betrayal, humiliation. Then Charles said something that would haunt Camilla forever. Diana deserved to be loved the way she loved, completely, devotedly, exclusively. She deserved to be someone's first choice, not their obligation. She deserved to be cherished and protected and worshipped. Camilla realized that Charles was describing exactly the kind of love she had always wanted from him, but had never received. But Charles's next words would destroy her completely. The devastating truth. 12:45 a.m. The relationship reality. As Charles continued his grief-stricken monologue, he began revealing truths about his relationship with Camilla that she had spent 30 years refusing to acknowledge. Camilla, I need to be honest with you about something. About us. Camilla's heart began racing as she sensed what was coming. What we've had all these years, it wasn't love. Not real love. It was convenience. It was comfort. It was familiar. Charles, that's not true. It is true. I stayed with you because you never demanded anything from me. You never challenged me to be better. You never expected me to grow or change or become worthy of real love. Charles's words were cruel in their honesty. You made me feel comfortable about being selfish. You enabled my worst traits instead of inspiring my best ones. The comparison to Diana was devastating. Diana expected me to be the man she fell in love with. Honorable, faithful, worthy of respect. She believed I could be better than I was. That terrified me, so I ran to you because you accepted me exactly as I was, flaws and all. Camilla felt 30 years of her life being reduced to nothing. Diana challenged me. You comforted me. Diana inspired me to want to be worthy of her love. You never required me to earn anything. Charles's final blow was the most devastating. I chose you over Diana not because I loved you more, but because loving you was easier. It required nothing from me. Diana's love would have required me to become a better man, and I was too weak for that. Don't miss Camilla's explosive breakdown. Her jealous rage shocked even Charles. The jealousy explosioned. 1 a.m. Camilla's complete meltdown. Charles's brutal honesty triggered something primal in Camilla. 30 years of suppressed jealousy and insecurity exploded in a rage that terrified everyone who witnessed it. How dare you? Camilla screamed, her carefully maintained composure shattering completely. How dare you sit there and canonize that spoiled little girl who never appreciated what she had? Charles stared at Camilla in shock as she revealed the depth of her hatred for Diana. Diana was weak, she was needy, she was mentally unstable. She cried and whined and made scenes because she couldn't handle being a real royal wife. Camilla's jealousy poured out in a torrent of venom. I supported you for 30 years. I stood by you when she was having her breakdowns. I gave you stability when she was throwing tantrums. I loved you when she was plotting against the family. Camilla, stop. No, I won't stop. I've had to listen to the world worship that pathetic woman for 20 years. She got everything. The fairy tale wedding, the title, the children, the adoration, and she couldn't even be grateful for it. Camilla's breakdown became more vicious. She was handed everything I ever wanted on a silver platter, and she spent 15 years complaining about it. She got to be your wife while I had to hide in the shadows like some dirty secret. The jealousy that had consumed Camilla for decades was finally erupting. I loved you first. I knew you first. I understood you in ways she never could, but she got to wear the tiara and bear your children while I got nothing. You won't believe how Charles responded to Camilla's vicious attack. The relationship ends. 1:15 a.m. Charles's final rejection. Charles's response to Camilla's jealous breakdown was swift and devastating. "Camilla, stop. Just stop. You're proving everything I just realized about our relationship." "What do you mean?" "I mean that Diana's death has shown me what love actually looks like, and what we've had, it isn't love. It's possession, it's selfishness, it's everything ugly about human nature." Charles stood up, his grief giving him clarity. "Diana never spoke about you the way you're speaking about her. Even when she knew about us, even when she was in pain because of our affair, she never attacked you personally. That's because she was weak. She was strong. She was stronger than both of us. She endured 15 years of betrayal and humiliation with more grace and dignity than either of us has ever shown." Charles's final judgment was brutal. "Listening to you attack a dead woman, a woman who never did anything to you except exist, has shown me exactly what kind of person you are, and exactly what kind of person I've been for staying with you." "Charles, you don't mean that." "I do mean it. I mean every word. Diana is dead, and instead of feeling even a moment of compassion for the mother of my children, you're attacking her because you're jealous of a dead woman." Charles walked toward the door. "I can't do this anymore, Camilla. I can't pretend that what we have is love when I've just realized what love actually looks like." "Where are you going?" "I'm going to mourn my wife, the wife I should have loved properly when I had the chance." Charles's final words destroyed Camilla completely. "And you're going to go home and think about the fact that you spent 30 years in love with a man who was never capable of loving you back." The aftermath. September 1997. The relationship's end. Camilla's jealous breakdown on the night of Diana's death effectively ended her 30-year relationship with Charles. Charles's grief over Diana had revealed to him the shallow nature of his connection with Camilla and the depth of what he had lost when Diana died. For months after Diana's death, Charles refused to see or speak to Camilla, focusing instead on comforting William and Harry and processing his own guilt about his treatment of Diana. When Charles and Camilla eventually reconciled, their relationship was forever changed. Charles now understood that Camilla was not his great love. She was simply the woman who had been available when he wasn't mature enough for real love. Camilla, for her part, never recovered from the knowledge that Charles had loved Diana more than he had ever loved her. The truth revealed. Camilla's jealous breakdown on the night of Diana's death exposed the toxic foundation of her 30-year relationship with Charles. Her vicious attack on a dead woman revealed the depth of her insecurity and jealousy, traits that Charles had never recognized before his grief opened his eyes. Most importantly, Charles's honest assessment of their relationship, that it was based on convenience rather than love, shattered Camilla's delusions about being his soulmate. The night that Camilla thought would finally free her from Diana's competition instead revealed that she had never been competing at all. Charles had chosen her, not because he loved her more, but because loving her required less of him. Diana's death didn't give Camilla the victory she had expected. It revealed that she had already lost the battle for Charles's heart decades earlier. Some victories are hollow. Some competitions are over before they begin. Some love affairs are just convenient arrangements, dressed up as romance. Camilla learned all of these truths on the night Diana died, and the knowledge destroyed her more completely than any rival ever could.